What's up, guys? My name is Tommy Marshall, and I'm going to talk to you about why the United States should end its war on drugs. So, in 2001, Portugal decriminalized all drugs, and they've had some huge success rates. Not only has crime rates dropped, but the recidivism and addiction rates of drug users has also dropped. And I think that by legalizing drugs in America, we can make our culture a better place. So I am a recovering drug addict, and I'm a former drug user, and I feel that if society could just change its views on drug users, then we can maybe make our country better. So why should drugs be legalized in the U.S.? Well, first of all, drug users are non-violent criminals. In 2010, 13% of all arrests were drug-related, and every 19 seconds in our country, someone is arrested for drug-related charges. Not only is this a violation of our human rights, but we're paying as taxpayers to imprison these people when they actually haven't hurt anybody except for themselves. So, that's stupid. And not only has this prohibition not decreased the availability of these drugs, but it's created a black market for gangs the gangs utilize to support themselves. They sell drugs, they buy guns, they recruit new members. It's not good, not a good system. Drug markets also they allow groups like the Mexican drug cartels or Taliban, places like that. They're the drug suppliers, so they're making billions of dollars a year. And so the U.S. should regulate these drugs. They shouldn't just prohibit them. By regulating them, we could save so much money. We would stop wasting money fighting this war on drugs that just isn't working. In 2010, the federal government paid $15 billion to fight this war on drugs, and state and local agencies paid another $25 billion. So that's $40 billion in a year that they spent, and drugs aren't exactly impossible to get here, so it's not working very well. Instead, I think we should tax and regulate these drugs. In 2011, $44.5 billion was brought in just from the sales tax of cigarettes alone. And also regulating the drugs can hold suppliers accountable for the product they're supplying, which would make drugs more safe in a sense. They would cut down on the deaths and overdoses that are caused by drugs every year. And if we could get the law to change its stance on drugs, I think society overall would change its view on drug users as well. Addicts will be more socially accepted, which would make the addiction process or the recovery process a lot easier. Recovery programs could be a lot more easily accessible, and it could be the effective rates could also be increased, because the most important step in recovery is support systems, and what would a better support system be than our entire society? Also, prevention programs could be more readily available. Programs like needle exchange programs that supply clean needles for drug users, or just education programs. If we could stop teaching kids that every drug is bad and maybe teach them the truth instead of using scare tactics, that might benefit us as well. And also, our prisons would just be less crowded. 25% of prisoners serving time in federal prisons are incarcerated for drug abuse charges. That's a quarter of the people in there. That's a lot of people. Not only are they taking these people we're stopping them from being productive members of society, and we're also taking the room that a violent criminal could be holding in prison, that someone that actually deserves to be there, they could be there. So, overall, I just feel that the legalization of drugs in America would benefit our society. So what can we do? As individuals, if we could all just maybe sign a petition and spread the word that this would be beneficial to our society, it would help us. Maybe if we could get enough signatures, we could get it as an issue on one of the ballots coming up, which would be a huge step in our society. Even if it wouldn't pass, just getting it on the ballots would be a huge step. And honestly, if Portugal can set this example and lead the way in decriminalizing drugs and just viewing addicts as a whole different, viewing addicts as a sickness instead of a crime. I think society would just do better. And if Portugal can do it, why can't America? Alright. I forgot to start the watch.
I don't think you actually checked the time though.
I did, actually. I was like, shit. Shit, 5 minutes, 44 seconds.